I think man is so fear-based now on everything, it's just ridiculous. Governments have got people fear-based. You've got hand sanitizers everywhere you go. Ridiculous. You know, you start living in that world, will be like a boy, everybody will be in a bubble. Because people's immune systems, people's bacterial will have none. And the problem with that is, this destroys your immune system. This destroys the very system that's supposed to clean you, that is bacterial laden. I mean, there is always bacteria in sewer systems. And the sewer system in your body runs right along with the blood. Just like when we put pipes in the ground, we throw water pipes right along with sewer pipes. Now we have this super cooking concept because man is scared of his own shadow. The AMA has got everybody scared of bacterium. So now everybody's wearing masks and everything else, and you know, you're taking vaccines out crazy. I mean, this is such a bad system. It's not even funny. And because of that, we have the whole world screwed up. And you just can't, you have to understand the world of bacterium and fungus and all the microbes. And you have to also understand what you're doing that's inviting that scenario in. You're going to always have bacteria in your body. You should. But whether it's Helicobacter or pylori or whatever, or E. coli, let me tell you, the terrain is everything. What you set up is what you invite in the body. Everybody doesn't have all those problems. But when you trash your body with trash foods, dead tissue that's already on its road to putrefaction, fermented foods and all this stuff, don't bitch when your body becomes full of parasites. Most people's bodies are cesspools inside. They quit filtering, their sewer system's backed up, their septic tanks, lymph nodes are swollen all over the place. I see people's eyes for 40-some years now. It doesn't matter about viral loads, bacterial loads. Soon you guys will realize that. It doesn't matter about the creatures of life. It is the medium. It's the culturing medium. It's the terrain you're providing for the creatures of life. You can't change the creatures of life. You can't have little sanitary cleansers. I have to laugh at all this, where everybody's cleaning their hands everywhere they go and stuff. That's how they've got everybody fooled. You'll get yourself so away from natural immunity, it won't even be funny. And you want natural immunity, and you'll get it. Don't be afraid of God in life. Be afraid of what man has taught you, and what you've learned about health has been all wrong. Who's the vitamin makers in your body? Bacterium, huh? We get a lot of vitamins through microbes. People don't talk about that. You get a lot of goodies. They give back. Nature gives back. But we don't think in those terms because we're so infatuated medically and with the mind and with the concept of diseases that we've gotten ourselves all mixed up. We don't know what the goodness and the beauty of nature and life is. Think about this. What you have is sewage not going anyplace. So it's rotting in your lymph nodes. So now you're going to have little skin takes, which is nothing but parasites. They're going to start, you're calling, come in, come in. I've got putrefaction, the odors are going out to nature, and nature's responding. So you're going to have fungus growing in here, bacteria trying to get in here. They're just trying to help you. We can kill them, but that would leave your sewage with no one helping to get rid of it, wouldn't it? That's what antibiotic use does. Suppresses the lymph system and kills the bacteria that you need. No thought about the sewage itself. That's where you guys have to learn this and get that, and you are, from what I can see, and that'll make all the difference in your world in every level you can imagine. You get moles, and the same thing if people grow moles all over them and warts and things like this. You know, you're just a cesspool. Our bodies become cesspools and grows all these fungi on it. It's because we're dying inside. These are proteins that putrefy and stink. Nasty stuff. But that's what our society wants us to eat. When we see infection, do you think bacteria is the cause of that? Hell no. You know, what is infection? It's acidosis, it's sewage, it's sludge. Where does that come from? Where do you suddenly have infection in your body? Could it be from the chemistry you're eating? Could it be from the dead animals and all those putrefactive proteins and all the grains and beans and all that crap? Absolutely is. Where do you get the sewage from? That's what people don't understand. You just develop from nowhere? No, it's cell metabolitic waste. That's the waste that has to go out the lymph system. And when it doesn't go out the lymph system, they call that infection when it backs up in places too much. And any bacteria that comes in, they're coming in to help clean up the mess, guys. And then the medical doctors, since they don't understand the God ways, then try to kill them. Well, there goes your bacteria in your lymph nodes, the gut, everywhere else too. Oh, nightmare. They set people off on nightmare journeys. Horrible. No. What's that? You want to clean an infection out of your body, you do it through what channel? The here's a broken record. The lymphatic system. It's a sewer system. You wouldn't clean acids through your blood. It would be almost impossible because your body's not designed that way anyway. Although, when it backs up to a point, it can regurgitate right into the blood. So, not good. That's why there's dialysis. Again, you just have to realize terrain. You offer up a culturing medium, you're going to culture parasites. This is the way God works. It's actually working in your favor, but medical doctors have so warped man's thinking that we blame God for this. We blame the parasite or parasites. I will say bacterium in this case. Now, yes, you can have tapes and worms and hooks and pins, and yeah, you can have some that, especially the bigger boys, not real fun or friendly. Yes, that's a problem. But, you know, bacterium, virals, fungus, these are all involved in the process of regeneration of life. And how we get to atoms and how we reuse atoms and stuff. So we have to lift ourselves up and understand creation instead of blaming it. I no longer think there is such a thing as bad bacteria, and don't, because there is no bad and good. Man labels bad when it goes against his nature. Let's say you eat all this dairy and all this meat in your body and proteins, and you're germinating these more proteolytic bacterium and virals. Don't get upset with that. And don't get upset if you choose to accept the medical doctor's theory that killing bacteria is how you cure diseases. Because that isn't true and never has been. Never will, because they aren't the creator of diseases. There's no such thing as diseases, first of all. But if there was, bacteria is not the creator of them. They're only involved in the process of getting well, in the process of nature. And nature, the way nature works, we must learn nature's rules. Man spends all this time creating his own theories instead of observing nature and how nature works. And we have to have, nature is science. It's proper science. We can't create a science and say, we're trying to figure out, and we're trying to have this theory and that theory, and we're treating millions of people with these theories. Of course, millions of them are dying from the theories. I mean, this is all insanity stuff. We need to take a washcloth and clean the steam off the shower door and say, we need some clarity here. And this is one of the problems with the use of antibiotics. You kill the lymph nodes you kill the bacteria in your lymph nodes, you're in trouble. Fibromyalgia, lupus, and Lyme's, those are the three biggies that you see, and they're all the same stuff. I don't care what they say. And look at this, they treat Lyme's with antibiotics. No, it doesn't work. But they rake those antibiotics down you, knowing it doesn't work. So what happens then is they kill the bacteria in your body, which still doesn't stop the problem because this is acidosis. Doesn't matter the viral count, doesn't matter any of that. This is still acidosis, systemic acidosis. And so when you kill the bacteria, now who's taking these 3 pH acids from your cells and getting them up to 6 so the kidneys are, so you're not on your knees peeing when they're coming out? Nobody. When you eat a particular food and you get gas and belching, that's incomplete digestion. That's either fermentation if it's vegetables and fruits, or your carbohydrates, or it's putrefaction when it's your proteins. And now both of those, when it's fermentation, that's when fungus has to be involved. You have to have this. because if not, you get too acidic. I mean, way out there. So you have to have the interaction of the microbes to deal with the excess carbon that you're consuming if you're doing starches. The same thing with proteins and nitrogen. You have to have the bacterium there for those. You're not going to run the same bacterium as you would on a meat diet, a milk diet, and things like this. That's why lactobacillus and bifidus is a bunch of crap. You know, you got to realize that you don't play with microbes. They will seat themselves. You don't have to play in that world. You have to fix your kidneys, your glands, fix these things. Get yourself filtering. It's as simple as that. I mean, we're eating tissue, dead tissue, and stagnant blood. So, I mean, people like that. I mean, people like aged beef, and that's at least 6 months hanging. So we like stuff like that. At least man thought he does, and that's a huge problem. You know, when you're adding disease and death in you, and you want to have life and vibrancy, and you want to feel clean, and you don't want to stink, why do you eat dead tissue? This is an oxymoron. And, of course, you have putrefaction with this, not fermentation. That's a fungal problem. So now you call it in your proteolytics. These are your bad boys. These are your big boy bacteriums. Because now we just have fungus for carbon, or carbohydrates. We're talking about protein here, so now you got to get your proteolytics. Those are your bad boys. And we all bitch about those guys. But if you're going to eat dead tissue and stuff like that, don't bitch when the gnarly bacteria have to come in and start eating this stuff up. And we blame them for the problem again. The E. colis and all this kind of stuff. Well, I have to tell you guys, there's no such thing as bad and good bacteria. There's no such thing as bad and good. I mean, that's man's concepts of these things. You simply have different bacteria for different types of food. If you're a dead animal eater, expect the proteolytics. Don't bitch. In Asian countries, when people get sick or are afraid of getting sick, I know, they wear surgical masks. I know. If only they knew the truth. I know. I know. You know, culturing medium, baby. What are you looking for? And you see they give you 5 antibiotics and yet they haven't worked? Ah, you must have a bad bug, man. This is a bad one. This is going to take you down. Jesus Christ, man. You understand this isn't about bacteria. It's why you don't see them working well. This is about your lymph system, not bacteria. This is about your lymph system. This is about the medium for which bacteria love and rejoice and love to play, because they were sent here to do that. They were sent here to break down the acids. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. The issue is your terrain, and the terrain. If it wasn't a bacterial, if it was a bacterial issue, it's only a bacterial issue because of your terrain. If it is a viral issue that is actually taking hold of cells, it's because of your terrain. That's our point, is that nature has virals, fungus, bacterium. All these things are designed, to break down waste and trash in the body, to help terminate cells, although you have macrophages, immune cells that terminate cells for that. We have to understand those things, not fear those things one doesn't understand. You know, bacteria isn't here to kill you. It's here to clean you. It's just that some people's bodies are head to toe. You see these flesh-eating bacteria. It's just, you have to understand that we are in a world of extreme weaknesses genetically and extreme toxicity. And we are sewage dumps. So the world is wanting to come in and clean us up. We keep trying to kill them, but in doing that, we make us more vulnerable. It's not how it's done. Vaccines are not how it's done. I'd like to have a public discussion on vaccines with some medical doctors to expose the truth. It's your culturing medium. It is your terrain inside of your body that determines just what you're going to experience in a world like this. And you have to understand that bacteria are your friend, not your enemies. It is your body that is full of sewage and acids and inviting, and of course fermentation and stuff, inviting the very creatures of life that get rid of this for you in your body. It's not them that is the issue, obviously. You must understand this is about cellular sewage and a little parasitic sewage that is not going anywhere. Well, the bottom line to that is culturing medium, culturing medium, culturing medium. When you're a meat eater, or you eat foods that are more putresctive in nature, you're going to expect the H. pylori and other more proteolytic type bacteriums, E.coli and things like this. You know, this is all about having a culturing medium, or as one doc said, the terrain. There's a bacteria for everything. There's bacteria for iron, a bacteria for steel. There's a bacteria for everything out there, believe it or not. Because there's birth, life, and death on this planet, no matter what level of chemistry or what we're talking about in terms of compounds or structures or anything else. This is a birth, life, and death system. So you have to have something involved in that process from life to death, because this is a constant atom rearrangement. So you have a whole working of nature that deals with bacteriums and viruses and protozoas and funguses. Understand their reason for living, not that you're in a war with them. Medical doctors are in a war with them, and it's a war they can't win. Notice that? Notice lately now, oh, we need to back up giving animals antibiotics because now humans are getting all that in their foods, and now they're bacterial or antibiotic resistant. They're chasing rainbows, chasing butterflies. I mean, Jesus criminy. I just love these guys. Instead of understanding, asking yourself, why would the bacterium be in my gut? What's its job? We're going to blame the bacteria and not that diet that you were eating. That's their problem. That's the idiocy and fallacy of the whole medical thinking, is the food you're eating couldn't be the problem because these are diseases. You see how that just took that whole modality down to the darkness into Hellville. And there's a lot of beautiful things about the medical modality, but it is scarred and darkened by fatal event pharmaceuticals and oncology and things like this, playing in fields of dreams they don't understand. Being so narcissistic, they're not saying, here, so if I don't know something and I have another practitioner of the healing arts, whether it's a chiropractor, I'm always sending my clients to other practitioners when they need them. I don't send them to other naturopaths, however, that is a fact. But if there was one that had a specialty I didn't have and was good at it, I would. Because that's the whole idea. We know our limitations, and we can turn to someone that has maybe more knowledge in that area. That's just a natural thing you'd want to do. Medical doctors should have been recommending us for a long time, and instead they built up their own problems.